Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Nvidia daily update video. So today, as per usual, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over Nvidia. Let's go over what is happening to the stock, what we can expect moving forward. Apologies as I'm quickly uploading the video. I literally just recorded on Tesla stock to make sure it is up to date and ready to go. There we go on YouTube. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's go over Nvidia. I'll give you my thoughts moving forward, what I expect, all that good stuff. And yeah, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my technical analysis, thoughts on the charts, etc., well, I do share my thoughts every single day as the market is trading in my YouTube membership. That link is down below, just $3 a month, or you can press the join button if you'd like to join. We're just shy of 600 members, so I'd love to have you there. But yeah, again, it's just $3 a month. I constantly share my thoughts, post updates throughout the trading day, constantly options full, technical analysis, etc. Mainly on Tesla stock for $3. Sometimes I'll share other stocks as well if there's something worth sharing. For instance, I actually shared HIMS yesterday, believe it or not. I told my members HIMS yesterday. I told them that I was buying it yesterday. Well, I didn't say I was buying yesterday, but I said the stock was great, which, I guess you can imply that I was entering the position. I can even find it if you really want me to, but I'm sure you believe me. I'm not going to. Here we go. Here it is. HIMS bouncing so far in the retest. Well, this was the second update. But yeah, see, my main targets upside are 32 to 33 and closer to 36 to 37 if we're lucky. Stop is the close below Friday's low. And look what happened. So anyways, I shared these thoughts here and there as well. But yeah, let's jump into it. $5 a month, by the way, second tier includes Nvidia. Let's go. Let's just jump into it. Let's talk about Nvidia. What can we expect? What is happening? After hours is getting absolutely slammed. So some news came out. I don't know what exactly it is, but yeah, Nvidia, regardless, closing the day pretty flat, closing at 109 and change, up 0.2%, 0.27% on the day. But, and I mentioned this many times over, I still lean short-term bearish on Nvidia. And, it is getting smacked pretty aggressively. I'm not sure why it's getting hit so hard. Something came out that's smashing Nvidia this hard. Oh, something about SMCI. That's what it is. SMCI is another accounting thing. Yeah, it's down to 18%. This is the worst stock I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you hold the stock, I genuinely feel bad for you. Guys, not financial advice, but please, this stock is a pile of shit. It is what it is. It is what it is. Nvidia's getting hit on that. That's why. Anyways, nonetheless, yeah, Nvidia down 2% after hours because of SMCI. But nonetheless, I mentioned short term, I do lean bearish on Nvidia, regardless of what happens. And essentially, as long as it remains below 111 to 114, that to me is the most crucial level to for the bears to defend. Again, I do believe it will at some point break out, but there's no reason to be bullish on Nvidia while it's right in the middle of the range, while it's below here, right? The only way I'll get bullish on Nvidia is two ways, right? Either it comes down to something I find or I consider it to be a discount, which at this point, it would be anywhere closer to 102, roughly 102, 103, something like that. Essentially to the bottom of this trend line where it's bounced 2 times already, very nicely as well. Or it finally breaks this massive area of supply and or resistance, essentially at 111 to 114, whichever one comes first. Again, I have no reason to expect that it's going to break above it because, well, again, below it, it's still technically bearish territory. But I still believe that eventually the bulls will break above it and it will look something along the lines of this, right? Roughly, of course. With this price action after hours, it's looking a little bit more likely now. But nonetheless, right, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, right? The main levels down below, of course, for Nvidia, that support is 105 to 106, followed by, again, closer to about that 102-ish range as well. So that's the way I'll be looking at it because, again, I view this as a very large rising triangle. Now, a rising triangle is a bullish pattern, which is why, like I said, I do expect Nvidia to become bullish, but it's not there yet. It's not ready. It's still cooking, and it's one of those situations where you kind of just let it cook, let it do its thing, let it marinate for a bit more. It's still marinating. It's not ready yet. Steak is still raw. Let the steak cook a little bit. Let it get to that beautiful medium rare or medium, whatever you prefer. I do believe we will get there, but we're cooking on low heat right now, and it might take a little bit of time, and that's probably the best way I can explain it because we had this massive rejection off this 111 to 114 supply region, came right back into support, bounced, but again, like I said, I expect Nvidia to do something like this. And as of right now, this price action after hours, this SMCI just casually doing SMCI things once again. That stock sucks. I'm telling you, it's a horrible stock, guys. It is what it is. I hate it. I can't stand that stock, but it's looking more likely. And again, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, right? I don't think Nvidia is going to do a whole lot, despite potential volatile movements. I don't think it'll actually do a whole lot, potentially for the rest of this week, until it essentially gets closer to the apex of this rising triangle, which at this point might last closer towards the end of the week, right? So maybe by Thursday or Friday, we can finally see some movement. But before that, I don't expect anything too crazy just yet, unless it finally gets to closer to 102, or unless it finally essentially clears this kind of 111 to 114 supply range. And that's pretty much the way of looking at it. I mean, I don't think there's that much more to say, to be completely honest with you. I mean, we have this daily perspective here. It's now finally above the market bias, which is a good sign, but it doesn't mean too much in the greater the grand scheme of things. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because there's more important things to pay attention to. Like I said, the 111 to 114 supply range, and of course we have the actual downward channel that we are in, which that current resistance is sitting closer to about 120. Those are the key levels. But again, the reason I'm mainly focused on 111 to 114 is because there's no reason to even talk about 120 and clearing 120 if we can't clear 111 to 114, right? Naturally, you can't go to the final boss until you've cleared the first boss. You know what I mean? You have to do it in order. And we haven't cleared that first boss yet, right? So that's the first boss, 111 to 114. Clear that. Okay, now we can start getting ready for that second boss or the final boss or whatever you want to call it, right? So let's take a step by step like that. Again, I do still believe that Nvidia will at some points, potentially into next week. I do think it'll clear this level. I do think it'll be bullish, assuming, of course, this trend line holds and it doesn't lose it, of course. Naturally, it's essentially dropping below 100 to 102. But as long as it maintains above that, I also think the bulls will eventually have the upper hand, just not yet. So again, that's just a way of looking at it, right? I think that's pretty simple, without overcomplicating, without adding this and that and this and that and a million different things to pay attention to. It's just nice, clean, simple, beautiful price action that it just works. It just simply works, right? I don't want to overcomplicate it too much. So let's just, take us day by day like that. Let's give it some time to marinate. I don't think it's there yet, especially when the weekly is looking like this. There's no reason to actually be truly, truly bullish on Nvidia just yet, unless you're getting it at, what I would consider a good price, which is closer to 102, because then your risk reward, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good risk reward around 102, assuming that rising triangle pattern holds. So again, let's just see how this plays out. But with the weekly looking like this, which is another reason why that 111 to 114 needs to clear, there's no rush. There's no rush. There's no rush whatsoever. Let it do its thing. Let it marinate. Let it cook. Let it develop. Unfortunately, the heat is a little bit on the lower end of the spectrum, so it could take a bit of time, but I think eventually it'll cook it. Options flow, pretty mixed throughout the day. I'm not going to lie. Nothing interesting happening on Nvidia lately. The stock just feels very, very muted. It feels like the attention is mainly on Tesla stock. There's nothing to really discuss, and I think Tesla is stealing most of the glory for now. But yeah, so that's kind of what I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's that much more to add. Not really showing other signs that's worth mentioning. But yeah, again, if you want to join my membership, I have a link to it below. Again, I share my thoughts on all of this and more in there as I see it, as it's happening throughout the actual trading day. And again, this also has the looks of a bit of a bear flag, right? Which is why another reason I'm not overwhelmingly bullish. I'm just like, running in like, oh my God, I got to buy Nvidia right now before, it escapes me. This has a bit of a bear flag look to it as well. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. But that's kind of what I got for you. In my opinion, there's no reason to rush into it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think down below. See you tomorrow. Peace.